100 episodes in, have we got our shit together? I love it.
You'd think
Kind
so.
of.
Okay. Okay, so magic wand.
Magic wand.
Check.
Streamers.
Kind of.
Check.
Go ties and bow ties.
Yep.
Go
Go ties. Fancy balloons.
Yes, check.
Kate Bates, can you describe what's in the centre of the wheelhouse bunker set right now?
We have a magnificent cake, Joel.
What sort of cake?
It is a happy 100 cake.
Yeah!
It is gluten free, Luke.
Cheers.
The design Merckxy.
Who's Luke?
Oh heavens!
Seriously.
100 episodes, and we are smooth on this. Now, this cake was meant to be a wheel.
Oh!
Was it really?
Are you really going to go with this story?
Yeah.
You're good?
There was an incident. It is now not a wheel. It is half a wheel.
Half a wheel?
It's got our faces on the front.
Three
It's got
quarters of moon.
sparklers on the
3/4
top.
moon.
Yep. And it's
I
gluten-free.
love that.
So
3/4 moon.
that's what we are.
Well, all of this aside, all of this included, it's worth saying a big happy birthday because we've brought up a massive
Happy
milestone. I don't know how. Yes, I do because we're awesome. Kate Bates, Henk Vogels. My name's Joel Spreadborough. Merckxy,
Merckxy.
he's here too. G'day, Merckxy.
Hello, team. I got my daughter here helping out on our birthday party, so that's good. We got a bell.
Yeah. Oh, excellent.
That's where
Millie's-
my bell went.
She's party planner.
Yeah, we.
Party plan.
Really glad you're here, Millie, because you've just seen pretty much the regular routine for us getting into an episode.
She has wanted me to say that she's not responsible for the cake.
Okay.
If it was her choice, it would be a wheel.
The moon cake. Yeah.
Alas, here we are.
I think it's the wheel deal.
Oh.
We've got a lot to celebrate. 100 episodes, and massive thank you to everyone who's been along for the ride so far and those who have joined more recently. Plenty to catch up on. You can go all the way back to episode 1 if you dare.
If you dare.
I have no idea what we were talking about back then.
I
think bikes.
pretty early on, we were talking about how to say Jonas Vingegaard.
Vingegaard. Yeah.
We'll chuck that up on social media, that clip, because
Yep.
at the time, Merckxy, brilliant work by you, might I say, clipped up all the different ways that people were saying it.
Yeah.
All the commentators. Suffice to say, it's not Vingegaard or Fingerguard,
Yep.
as many made it sound, but that's one of my favourite moments.
I used to, yeah.
I might put it in right here.
Jonas Vingegaard.
Vindigo.
Jonas Vingegaard.
Vindigo.
Vingegaard.
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 Jonas Vingegaard.
Vingegaard. Vingegaard has cracked Taddy Pogacar.
There you go.
funny, isn't
See,
it?
that's pretty
Good
funny.
one,
And they
Merckxy.
still get it wrong.
The magic of editing right there.
The magic of editing.
Rolling it out live, but yeah, a lot has happened along the way. Much more to come. 100 episodes, and I believe an edible cake to celebrate. Henk Vogel's here, mate. You've been roped in quite a few times now.
I think I just got roped in to eat the cake on this one.
Did I say it was edible? Are we insured?
Just
I
checking,
don't know.
you haven't actually ingested any of the cake. yet,
No,
'cause- okay.
not as yet. I may look like I've had half of it, but
Stop it.
I haven't ripped into it yet. But
Okay.
there is a story around that, but I'm not sure if we're getting that today.
I think we've said enough about
Enough
the
about the
cake.
cake. Okay, just checking,
Okay.
Millie. You've still got your paramedic qualification, just in case Henk has indeed eaten some of the cake.
Yeah, that's right.
She's good to
Yeah.
go. Okay. We're going to talk about cycling this week as well. Arise, Sir Mark. Massive news. You guys have been absolutely glued to Netflix. I haven't. I'm looking forward to finding out more. The Aussie women are doing what they do, kicking ass. The UAE, as surprise, still winning, but there is
Dominating.
a surprise. There is a surprise in this one because tomorrow isn't doing it.
It's not today.
It's not today. It's not tomorrow. It's not POG. We're going to talk about that as well. Olympic fever. Catherine, I've roped you in a few times to talk on the radio about Olympic trials and who's going and who's not going. You've always got the latest, and you're gonna push ahead with that today.
Yeah, we'll chat about that.
Can you
Some
just the
goods, some
heartbreak, the
bads.
work,
Well, we had swimming trials in Australia
they
last week.
were ridiculous.
So many tears and a lot of the drama with the instant retirements.
Yeah.
Like, don't make the team. And the people who win the race and make the team, nobody's even looking at them because everyone's on the person who didn't and who's now retiring. But
I think the story
alas,
there.
so it is.
Obviously, Kate Campbell, incredible career. Shayna Jack, a long time trying to get to the Olympics, things happening, whatever. She had just confirmed a solo appearance, not a non-relay leg, and they all went and embraced Kate Campbell. I thought they were beautiful scenes because Kate Campbell wasn't making it.
And look, we can dive into it a bit later, but it is interesting the way cycling
Dive in.
do.
I see what you did there. Nice one.
Cycling do their selection. It is certainly a lot more grey area, and the lovely line, coach's discretion, that goes on.
Do you know who's in the team?
The
Australian team?
I do.
Oh, good. Who?
I will not be talking about that.
Exclusive
Wow.
reveal.
No. I am honoured and privileged to have a number of different roles in the sport.
Blink twice. It
And-
blings in the team.
Stop it.
Are you blinking? Have you got something in your eye?
No, I can't, and I won't.
Nod and smile if
No.
Kate Bates is making a comeback.
Yeah.
She's not.
There's someone with the same name as me. Is he in the team? Like with the last name Platt.
I cannot disclose anything.
I thought your name was Merckxy. Didn't we just go
Is
through
that-
this?
yeah. Hold on.
Hey.
Speaking of Merckxy,
All right.
is Merckxy the GOAT? The
Well,
actual GOAT?
Look, he turned 79 this week, and there's some people throwing a little bit of shade.
I love these chats. I love these across era chats as well. I think that comes into it too. You're playing with different tools and, sports science, and that has come a long way, nutrition, and it's sometimes hard to compare across the decades and whatnot. Looking forward to your insights.
It's hard to compare goats with goats.
It is.
They're not apples and oranges. They're small furry animals.
Yeah.
When can we know who's in the team?
When can we know?
Who's in the team?
21st of June is when it's
What,
announced.
3 days away?
Yeah, we are recording not then yet, so
So
know.
we get no exclusive.
no exclusive.
Kate, we have spent 100 episodes telling everyone that we are a dedicated news service, and to come here first to get all of the most accurate, factual, factual headlines.
And anybody who has believed that has come once and not come back.
They left 99 episodes ago.
Can we at least break it before those people at SBS?
I mean, I think that
Big
we could
gig.
probably live stream from the AOC live announcement. Get Anna Mears to FaceTime live in or something. I don't know.
All right.
Okay.
I'm not happy about that.
We'll talk about it next week.
Plenty to celebrate. Plenty to celebrate. Not just for us. There's the first segue of the day. Thank you very much. All rise, Sir Mark Cavendish. So, a reasonably prosperous career, I think, acknowledged pretty duly in the King's birthday honours. So, not bad. Not bad for Cav. Well deserved. But on the other side of the coin, we have Sir Bradley Wiggins, who's doing it a little bit tough.
Yes, one is still on the upward cycle. So, geez, I'm good with the puns
You're
today.
all over it, yeah.
And the other not on Cav. We've spoken about him a remarkably small amount this year compared to last year.
yeah.
Every episode last year, I banned his name by the end. I was a bit like that fella from the Isle of Man. Will
little
not
man.
say it anymore. The little man. We haven't spoken about him a lot this year, but he is trying to still, win the 35th stage. So we might be talking about him a bit more soon. But I think that he has done a tremendous amount for cycling, for sport, especially in the Isle of Man, the Manxman, and I think well deserved. I like the honours. I know there's a lot of people who, are not fans of, King's birthday honours or whatever, but I quite like it. I mean, as I said last week, I'm a very big Bridgerton fan. So,
Okay.
it's very on brand for me
Sure.
to like that.
But as long as he's doing something for the sport, if he's just taking a huge paycheck and trying to get wins, then no, I don't believe.
So you think
Like
it needs to
you've got
involve-
to be giving back to the sport, I reckon.
But he
Okay.
is. He is
but,
or isn't?
But is he giving back to the sport?
Oh.
You're talking about advocacy, community,
that
sort of
stuff. Like if he's just taking the massive check from Astana to beat Merckx's record, is that helping the sport? Or is he doing some stuff in the Isle of Man by helping?
Well, I don't know. I mean, he's inspiring, people in their mid to late 30s that, they're not
Like
dead
old
yet.
people to get back on their bike, you mean?
Yeah, like geriatric exercise. So he's a role model.
I mean, I agree with you. He's been fantastic on the track, world champion many times. He's one of the best sprinters of all time. And in England, they seem to be giving the Knightings out quite.
Oh, you think willy-nilly?
No, not willy-nilly. And I think they are the two biggest legends of English sport. G will make it. G will
Oh,
be.
yes.
G will be there one day too.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, you'd want the people that are actually putting back into the sport getting recognised as well.
Yes. Well, Lizzie Armistead also received a King's Birthday honour. I don't think she's a lady yet, but give her time.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a lady, but not a lady.
Okay.
You know.
Yep. Look, I hope they're not just dishing out knighthoods.
Because you're
gotta
good
earn that
at your
shit.
sport.
Yeah. I remember cross sports, but 2005, the bloody Ashes, and the entire English team got an MBE for winning.
I'll do that.
a
Well,
cricket series.
A cricket series. You
Yeah.
see
if
that? That's
every
ridiculous,
Australian
right?
That was a bit
Olympian
dodgy.
who gets
Yeah,
an
I
Olympic
do,
gold
I do.
medal, they get an automatic OAM, Order of Australia medal.
Yep. Okay.
That's automatic for
Really?
Olympic or Paralympic gold medalists.
Now it is.
And grandfathered, I think.
Really?
So any Olympic gold medalist
Is an OAM,
is an OAM.
not just an AM, an actual.
An OAM, yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's pretty cool.
But and you mentioned
Sir Bradley.
Sir
So
Bradley.
This opens a fresh can of worms and some concern, I guess, that we can chat about here. So Bradley obviously having a bit of a tough time in a fiscal sense at the moment.
yes,
Catherine.
trying to keep himself out of bankruptcy. I think it's an interesting conversation because it's something that historically the women haven't struggled with as much, because if you don't have as much, you can't lose as much, essentially. But we have seen over the years, Hank, like a almost fetish, I will say, when the young riders get big contracts. And it's a working class sport. A lot of them don't come from money. So the contracts they get at a young age are massive. And they buy fast cars. Like it's like a designer car club amongst these guys. That's one of the first things they buy. I don't know if they have, the saying, they've got more money than sense. I don't know that they have the skills to manage all of this money. And so then the question is, do we help give them more skills, or are they being taken for a ride by people who see them as vulnerable?
Everyone wants a pound of flesh. There's managers popping up everywhere, and there's always, we're in a consuming society nowadays. And, with Wiggins, I think he went and did some good things after the sport. He started the Wiggins cycling team in the UK, which I know personally cost extraordinary amounts of money to run over a 12-month period. So, he would have lost a lot of money through there, and no one knows the whole story. No one probably will unless you see it in black and white. But, yeah, surprised at that. He's a smart man, and hopefully he hasn't been taken for a ride, because sounds like a bit of a legend. And if you're starting a development team, that's, for me, putting back in the sport. That's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
if he's lost because of that, then that sucks.
Well, there was a fella out of Sydney, KOM Financial, is what they're called. They sponsored the sport for a while, and Dan, his name is, he wanted to help make athletes, people more financially literate, to make sure that whatever they came into, that they had a retirement plan on top of everything. But Joel, does this happen in footy?
Oh, absolutely.
The fast car thing, are they obsessed with that as well?
Of course they are. So we'll talk rugby league quickly, but the State of Origin's on at the moment, and all the teams are assembled yesterday, and they all rocked up in their $4,000 or $5,000 designer man wallets and Nike Air Forces that are worth $6-7 grand each, and really looking the business. But the footy and a lot of codes here have worked really hard on financial literacy pathways, because the reality is a lot of these kids are identified at a young age, and they're basically told you'll never have to work because you're so bloody good at sport. Or they're not told that, but they derive that from what they are told, which is probably something a little bit more sensible. But it is something that elite clubs take a lot more seriously now. There's a lot of education around life after football. There's a lot of pathways offered off the field, and I'm talking about apprenticeships and certificates and all that sort of thing. There's more players actively engaged in study and in work around football than there has been since the amateur era, which is to do with these initiatives. But I guess it's the same sort of thing. It's a good comparison because it does have those working class roots, and it's one of those sports, and I don't think cycling's too dissimilar in a lot of areas where there are kids that have come from tougher financial backgrounds, and they haven't had that drilled into them from a young age. They haven't had that responsibility. I'm just like, Wiggins was worth more than 20 mil at his peak. I think that they were estimating like 13 million pounds or
I,
something.
I,
That's
gen-
not
That's over
insignificant.
20,
I mean, I'm an
Yeah.
accountant. I'm the daughter of an accountant.
Yeah.
The thought of ever having that much and not really safeguarding it just blows my mind. But
Yeah.
go read The Barefoot Investor.
Well, that's
Get the kids on it. Like, it's an important part of life.
It is, and a lot of them they're encouraged into entrepreneurship, but lower risk entrepreneurship. You know, a lot of players, not just talking about footy, but different codes in Australia that are engaging themselves outside with business interests, or becoming partnerships or silent partners or whatever in different interests to give them that little leg up after footy. But the governing codes are quite strict on it to make sure that they're not throwing their hat in the ring with some,
I think it's mandatory now for AFL and NRL, isn't it, to do that, do those courses? It is.
They
You
have to be.
you
They have to be
do it,
engaged. Yeah, part of the contracting is that it's when you work out statistically the average earning, because you always hear about the top flight, the absolute top of the top. The earnings disparity is massive.
Yeah.
And the average wage across some of these competitions is actually surprisingly small.
Yeah.
So minimum contracts have gone up, but they're not as high as they were. And COVID had its impact on that as well. Of
Knocked
course it did.
everything.
So it is something, and this is the sort of thing you hear, because these guys, and you said it beautifully, Hank, they are surrounded by people who are telling them what they need to do or what they need from them. There's hands out all the time, and they just don't have, obviously, the education around that, which is a really sad story, because this guy is an absolute legend.
He's a legend, for sure.
Good luck to Sir Bradley.
100%.
May he rise again.
Really sad to read that. So, arise Sir Mark, and may Sir Bradley rise again, I think we will say there.
Yes.
What do you think of that? Was that okay?
Yeah, that was
I'm
good.
not trying to make light of it, but I can't trust you two.
You can't.
You can trust us.
Speaking of
Beautiful.
expensive, Catherine, you rode in today. Tell us about the bike on
my
set.
beautiful bike. I didn't ride in, and I have to admit to that simply because a keen observer may notice there's no pedals. And now I look at the wide shot, and they
You can
wouldn't have
see,
known.
you
I
can
could have
see your
gotten
big
away with
boot.
that, and I have a boot on my
Big
foot.
giant boot.
Yes,
The moon boot
yes,
would have given it away.
Yes,
Okay.
I've had an incident. Anywho, this beautiful bike, Colnago V3, I've lent it to myself from Bike Bug.
You've lent it to yourself.
Yes, I have lent
Okay.
it to myself. Look, 100 episodes, they're getting on board with celebrating, and so I've got this bike to ride for a little while.
They are getting on board with
Yeah.
celebrating. It's nothing to do with anything other than our 100th episode, isn't it?
Massive sales
No other
to
theme. hey?
celebrate the wheelhouse.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all they're
Up
celebrating.
to 70% off.
Yep.
Go sign up, and then you can get all the codes straight to your
Yep.
inbox.
The looming date of June 30 has nothing to
EOFI sales have nothing to do
Good.
with it. It is
EOFI.
merely coincidental.
Okay.
Bike Bug have supported us, and we thank you very much.
We sure
I'll
do.
send you cake.
We sure do. Now, you have a list of 100s as well before we dive right
Oh, I
into the
do.
cycling stuff.
I do, and normally we're very organised with printing. We won't name and shame, but our printer has had a conniption. So we are on screen today, if you notice. So my plan to print out this wonderful list of 100s has kind of been poo-pooed.
That's okay.
So what I'm going to leave you with is the riders who've had more than 100 professional victories,
Brilliant.
or a smattering of those, because I think that now that we've hit 100, we're just gaining momentum, right? So we want to be Marianne Vos. We want to be like Ina Teutenberg, 217 wins she has. I think Marianne Vos, 231.
And she's still going.
We're pushing over the 100 here. Mario Cipollini, 163. You raced in his day.
Many days.
Yes, and probably also 163 is how many fines he got for the inappropriate skin suits he used to wear, including a full head-to-toe long sleeve,
Okay.
long leg, muscles, like anatomical.
Oh, really? Like
At
a
the
bat
Tour-
suit.
yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, I was there
The
that
Tour
day.
de France, wasn't it? Oh,
No,
where
it was
was
the
it?
Giro.
At the Giro.
I was there that day you rode that thing.
Oh.
It was awesome. But you got to love Chippo.
Yeah,
you
big
gotta-
character.
The Kathy Freeman Sydney 2000
Yes,
suit.
but with the anatomy.
The anatomy. Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
So-
the Batman cod piece.
Yes.
Did it
Yes.
have the nipple palette as well? That was famous for Warner Brothers. It was.
I don't know.
Definitely.
It probably did. I didn't think that word was not on my bingo card
Somehow
for today,
it
but
didn't
here
kill
we are.
George Clooney's career. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He won over 100. He won 146, I think, around about.
What about Robbie? Did he get over 100? I'm sure he did.
Someone you've
Henk,
left off.
He would be on there if I could have printed my list.
Hang on, Merckxy's pulled us up here. What have
What?
you picked up,
What,
Merckxy?
Merckxy?
Peter Sagan,
what?
121 or... That's over
All
100.
right.
How many?
You know,
You said
Yes.
121 or what? You need to know.
Should
How
have
ma-
been the first one you said.
you
but
know what
anyway.
else is over 100? I'm moving you on, Merckxy. I'm cutting you off.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Peter Sagan, where's the swear jar? Is 100k an hour? They go quicker than 100k an hour down some
Well, I did
climbs.
100k now this morning.
Did you?
Yes.
In a car.
Down Phillips. No,
No,
on a bike.
on a bike.
Yeah.
Before-
Have you seen the size of me?
Did ya?
I'm quite aero as well.
Before or after you got a flat tyre?
Before.
Before. Excellent.
Yes. I wouldn't
Otherwise,
want to punch it.
At 100?
At 100. Oof.
this celebration isn't quite going as this little segment as I planned. So we can,
I think it's a great segment.
I'll move myself
It's
on.
up there with Wheel of Misfortune, WTF,
Oh,
UCI. They're
yes.
bloody great segments.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
WTF UCI, we don't actually have that in today's show.
No.
But last week we talked about the UCI doing yellow cards. And Patrick Lefevre, who usually doesn't say much that makes sense,
Well, he's 100 years old.
that could be. There we go. There's another one. He's come out and said that the UCI should give themselves the first yellow card
Oh,
for their
that's
atrocious.
so good.
That was good.
That was
That was
good.
pretty good.
He doesn't say much good stuff, but that is
He doesn't,
good.
but that is
Yeah.
good. All
I
right,
don't think
there
we've
you
ever
go.
mentioned him saying a good
Favourably.
thing.
in a
Yeah.
favourable
No,
light.
but there you go. It's,
Hey,
we're in
100
good
episodes,
spirits.
new slate. Lefevre, we're 0-0. We start again. Okay, let's talk about transitions. We speak a lot about the Zwift Academy and some of the success stories that we've had. Kate, we were lucky enough to get up and close with a bit of, esports action earlier this year and sitting there going, how hard can it be? Turns out really effing hard. But those who conquer it and then make that transition to the road, the list is getting bigger. And we have another Aussie.
Well, the
We have
Aussie-
another Bradbury.
Yeah, the Aussie list is so impressive because of Neve, Bradbury and Jay Vine are our two big names who've made this incredible transition. And wonderfully, overnight, Neve Bradbury won her first World Tour race, stage of the Women's Tour de Suisse.
Boom.
Which is way bigger than
Which
a
is way
Zwift
bigger
race.
than Zwift race.
Oh,
Massive.
my Lord.
You raced with her old man, Henk.
I did, Hayden. He is a bit of a dark horse, he was, I
Yeah.
tell you. He was a very good bike rider. Retired early, but yeah, he's been fully supporting Neve's career. But another Aussie we didn't talk about from the Zwift, coming through the Zwift Academy, was Alex Bonnier.
Okay.
Yes.
So he now rides for Alpecin.
Yes,
Deceuninck.
he's super talented as well.
Yeah, he
yeah,
is
he
a
did
vet-
esports worlds with us a couple of years ago, and
Yeah, he's Anya Lau's partner who
Good.
rides for AG Insurance.
Oh,
and
gee.
also one of our riders. So there's a couple of little more success
there you
stories.
go. And somehow we end up back at Patrick Lefevre with AG Insurance. That's the ladies'
I'm
team.
still
Well,
'cause-
I like to call that Service Carnarvon's and his
Oh,
Service's
yes.
wife's team. It's not really
Yes.
Patrick's.
No.
There's a bit of politics around there. I did speak to Service and they are aligned, those two teams, but they are kind of separate. So
Well, that's because
Okay.
Paddy doesn't like ladies in his wheelhouse,
no, he doesn't.
so to speak.
just like the wheelhouse doesn't often like
Paddy
Paddy's
in,
yeah.
in here.
Okay. No worries. So congratulations. Let's just stay on the
Yes.
Aussie women for a minute because Ruby Roseman-Gannon's had a big week as well, bringing up a maiden World Tour victory.
Yeah, so she won at Tour of Britain. And the Aussies, like, we had a bit of a slow start to the season. Grace Brown was obviously amazing, but
Wow. Yeah.
some of the other Aussie women, we were like, we know what they've got in them. But this week's been a cracker. Spratty, she's top 10 at Tour de Suisse and was top 5 in the stage that Bradbury won. Ruby obviously did so well at Tour of Britain, but Brodie Chapman running top 10 in stages, notably in the time trial. Like, it's really cool. It's really good to see them really find their form and their legs over there, especially ahead of the Women's Giro, the Women's Tour de France, the Olympics. Like, it's great timing.
Katie,
Hitting their straps at the right times, it sounds
Merckxy.
of it.
just going to put the
Yes.
camera on you here.
Yeah, go
Oh,
on.
heavens.
Blink twice if Spratty's in the women's Olympic team.
I'm not doing this.
Or was that one or two?
No, I'm not doing this. But
There was one. I saw one just then.
what I
She's got a
will
foot in the door. Yeah.
what I will
You're such a
say
shit
is
stirrer,
it is a
Merckxy.
very difficult time for the athletes because they can't tell either, and they get asked all the time. And there's an interview with SBS that Spratty did, and they directly asking her about it, and I thought, it's so, like, she's so politically correct in how she answers.
Yeah.
She
Well,
gives
they
the, like,
know-
if
but
I
they
am or
know,
if
right?
I'm not. Yeah, they know, but
They
they
know,
can't.
yeah.
answer the question about it.
They know, but
so-
also the journos that are doing these interviews are briefed before the interview that they can't confirm that they're in the team.
Oh, they are, but they still
That's
keep
shit.
asking.
They shouldn't be doing that. That's not.
Are you listening, Merckxy? See? You've been briefed.
If it's embargoed,
Stop it.
Who do you reckon is definitely in the team, Kate?
Yeah, I'm
Peter
not
Sagan
In
blinking.
your
is,
opinion.
making a surprise appearance in
Peter-
the Australian team. There you go,
You
Merckx.
can't answer that
Are you
question,
happy?
I reckon.
can't
mate.
answer that question. No.
We'll keep chipping away.
Yeah.
We sure will.
Let's. I just think there's just the transition from Zwift. So you spoke before about going 100 kilometres an hour, and I'm sorry to sound naive because I never sound naive on this podcast.
Okay.
What is it? What are the attributes that take you from the e-bike to being able to ride 100 kilometres an hour, brave a pop tyre, win stages at the Tour de Suisse, do what Jay's done?
People talk about Jay Vine being just this Zwift athlete, but he won the NRS by twice the amount of points of anyone else. He was the best climber, best time trialist on the road. We actually signed him, and then he won Zwift and got a contract with UAE. He was the real deal before that.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, kind of triathlete, time trialing guru with huge physiology. I think that Zwift is a really good indicator of your physiology. But it doesn't. If you saw some of the highlights with Jay Vine in the first 2 years, he was getting run over by cars, getting water bottles, and it was horrific going downhill. He wasn't the best technical rider. His latest crash wasn't his fault, but I think he's improved dramatically. But yeah, it's just all experience. But the physiology just shows out in the Zwift stuff.
Yeah.
So you're picked up. You're like, this guy's or this lady's unbelievable.
Yeah.
We need to sign her. And then generally that translates across, but yeah, not everyone does.
That's I'm glad you like that whole transferable skill thing, and the fact that there's a lot more kilometres involved than just going straight from Zwift to the road, because those skills you mentioned, like you're not doing that. You're not doing that on the e-bike. It's extraordinary. But
Well, it is, I think, really interesting to consider what the mix is to win a race from
Right.
psychology, physiology, equipment.
Yep.
Like what balance is
It's
played
everything.
out there.
And that's what the word professional means. It's not amateur, it's not cycling. You're a professional cyclist. You're putting all that together, all those things together makes a professional cyclist.
Yep.
The diet, the diplomacy in team meetings with you, being friends with the teammates and getting them to work for you, and having the skills and the brain power to work out how a race happens and how you learn how to win that race and how you corner it, descend. You've got to sit there and work out the GC, and it's a whole thing together makes a professional cyclist. So those early signs in Zwift are just the start of being a professional cyclist.
It does still amaze me that Jonas can't ride with no hands very well.
Yes.
has
Well,
never been seen riding. No,
but
no
in
hands.
saying that, his skills are pretty impressive. Like
Oh, hell yeah.
the way he descends, like the way he descended in the time trial last year
It was extraordinary.
was extraordinary. So he has skills.
I think he's got really good skills.
I think he's got good skills.
You can't fluke a Tour de France win. That's 3,700 and plus kilometres of 20k descents in the wet, I might add, plus going bunchies, cobbles. You can't just fluke following for that long.
Hey, Hank,
For sure.
what do you think? How did he blow him out of the water? How did he blow Wout out of the water?
Out of the water.
Yeah, how did he do so well on that stage?
I'm
just curious.
Merckxy's
I'm
onto
curious.
the
I want
Unchained. He
his
can't help
opinion.
himself.
He is just better, mate.
Yeah?
He
Okay.
is literally just the best bike rider in the world. He may not be next month because he's come back from that really bad crash, but he's just the best bike rider in the world.
Well, we're waiting nervously. The rumour has it that Jonas and Wout will both make the start at the Tour de France, but not 100% confirmed. So
Well, I think he'll be on the start
Let's
line.
see.
I can't see him waiting around until September.
well, I think Visma Lisa bike almost they're running out of guys to put in.
Exactly.
So
I mean,
if it's possible,
yeah. I mean, they've got. I mean, even Laporte hasn't been that good. So, I think that Jakobsen's going to be fantastic at the Tour, and I think that in the first week he'll probably lose the Tour de France if he starts, and that's Vingegaard, however you want to say it. Jonas.
I'd like to call him Salty.
Salty. Yeah,
Salty Vingegaard, yeah.
I think he'll lose the Tour in the first week and be extraordinary in the third week. That's my
Yeah.
call. I'm pulling it out now.
I
As
like
in
that
pull it,
too.
pull it out of the ground.
Yeah, pull
Wow,
it out.
okay.
Pull
I
it out
mean-
now. He'll suffer really bad in the first week, be extraordinary in the third week, and you're going to see Mr. Tadej Pogacar smash everyone in the first week and maybe run out of a bit of legs on the third week.
Okay. Get rid
Oh,
of
the
juice.
profit speaks. Well,
Yeah,
look,
sure,
I've
sure.
got this beautiful new Colnago I'm borrowing. We've committed, Joel.
100
Merckxy,
Ks. Yeah.
100K Gold Coast. You're in, Hank?
I mean, if
You're
I'm
in?
in the country, I'll definitely
All right.
up
Yeah.
it.
So
I'm
just,
sure we can get them to change the date if you're not here.
October 13th. I was
I
just
reckon I'll be
thinking, since we're all, on a training plan, maybe we could step in if, Jonas or Wout. I mean, not me, I'm a lady, but you three.
Yeah, no.
The only way that's happening is in a time machine.
Yes.
Go
Okay,
back 25 years.
Fine, Kate. You've spilt the apples. Yes, confirming I am in the Australian Olympic team. There you go. Let's stay with you. You mentioned the great Pog, and an excellent prediction. Can't wait to see that. That has to be on our board. Actually,
I like
'cause-
that.
yeah,
and
yeah.
just interweave too into
Oh,
our
beautifully
magical
interweaved. Yeah.
rundown. Hank just drops the big bombs in the middle.
Yeah. Pog.
Yeah.
UAE.
No. I still think he's going to win it.
Okay. But not by
He's just-
8 hours.
He's just going to
No,
suffer
not
in the
like-
last week. Yeah.
I think he gave about a quarter of an hour away in the Giro.
Yeah.
I think he gave 15 minutes to everyone. It's like, have the day off today, just sit in a bunch.
don't think he'll be
I
doing
could take 7 minutes today and 8 tomorrow, but effort, I'm staying on the wheel.
Yep. Okay. UAE dominating in the men's Tour de Suisse.
Yes.
Doing it without
Oh, scary.
without their talisman.
But also without handlebar tape. That's a little bit odd. Yates and Almeida, 1-2 in the GC. Incredible, especially when you consider that they're really Pogacar's backup men. I mean, it does raise an interesting tactical question and some very strong diplomacy and team talks at the Tour to make sure that they're all on the same page, because we've seen it countless number of times when one of the backup riders sniffs opportunity. It can be hard to let go, but just remarkable how well they're riding. But I did notice my comment about the handlebar tape in the time trial. They went 1 and 3, split by Egan Bernal. So good to have him back. But they had no handlebar tape on their bikes.
Haven't they got enough money in their budget?
I don't get it. I mean, I get that their bikes are heavier than allowed limit because of disc brakes and bloody, but really no handlebar tape?
No gloves either, Kate?
No gloves. I said that to you. I feel old school now, but immediately I just go clammy palms, like
With no gloves.
with no gloves
Yeah.
and no handlebar tape. I
Slip.
just think that's
How
a bit
heavy is
silly.
handlebar tape?
No, it's just, I reckon, it's crazy.
Madness.
It's not heavy at all, and it's not even a watt. It's not even quarter of a watt.
No, it's a little bit curious.
No, I don't. I think it looks stupid.
Looks stupid.
Looks stupid.
But no discernible
And dangerous.
advantage, basically, from a, okay.
Well, they must have worked out that there is
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
don't- it's not the reason they go first and third in the time trial. I can tell you right now. There's maybe a reason they can slip off the
But it's
off the handlebars. But
It's-
yeah, I think it's a head, morale boosting.
I think so.
You
And
know,
I think it's a bit of a psych out too. Like every year ahead of the Olympics, they do the big tech thing with the track bikes, and you'll go to a World Cup and the bikes will literally be covered by a tarp or just a cloth. But I think I call everything a tarp.
Concealed, yeah.
Concealed.
Yeah.
And so that, no one will know. And it's not that anybody, if you see a $1 million prototype bike, what are you going to go out and build it 3 months ahead of the Olympics? Like, how ridiculous. Why do they need to cover it up? But it's a head game. And so the fact that we're even talking about no handlebar tape, I feel like there'd be some teams who would be like, damn it, why didn't you measure what my bike was like with no handlebar tape?
Yeah. Okay.
And if for anybody watching Unchained, I'm thinking specifically of potentially Glutzy O'Connor. I think he might be prone to one of these moments. If Jai Hindley turned up with no handlebar tape, Ben O'Connor may have a an issue with why he didn't test it too.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's pirouette into that because Merckxy is absolutely frothing to talk about Unchained. Merckxy, I'll direct you to item 8 in your rundown. Would you
Yeah.
like to lead us into
Well,
this?
I reckon Ben O'Connor has probably chucked in his Netflix subscription.
Oh yeah, he's not paying for
I
this
mean,
one.
wow.
Okay.
In fact, he might want a refund. If
You
he's
know.
paid, if he's had to pay to watch this, he might want a refund.
Is it, how bad? I haven't. Look, I've not seen it.
Oh, it's
How
not
bad?
Oh,
good.
It's
I've
bad.
seen it.
It's
I've
bad.
seen it. He does not do himself any favours.
What are we
Whatsoever.
talking
Well-
like tantrums, or is he tense with teammates?
There's one
or
tanny.
Admin?
Yeah,
There's
there's
a
one
few
tandy.
tannies. But I will say
Really?
that he is a remarkably talented athlete. He's
yeah.
pretty new to the sport in terms of his rise has been quite astronomical. And my observation would be that he doesn't quite have the emotional skills and regulation yet to deal with it. And if he can learn that, that seems to really be his weakest link. But
And then you got Jai Hindley, who just looks
Oh, he's
super
so
chill.
cool.
I'm surprised he's not from Queensland.
Cool customer.
Yes.
Very cool customer.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Hindley.
And yeah, Hindley. And what a tour he had last year, and they talk about it. And there is one episode on there where he takes the yellow jersey, and it's fantastic to watch. But yes, Ben O'Connor wasn't really happy
Well,
with his team's tactics.
So
Okay.
we've talked about it before, like the Aussie Cup.
Yeah,
you know,
of course, of
like
course.
you know, and people say, "Oh, it's not an Aussie Cup," and there's literally a line in it where one of the team directors says, "It's not an intercontinental championship for Australia. Like, what do they care?" But it emerges that they do care.
Of course they can.
Oh, they care.
Of course they can.
And it made me laugh because we've joked about it so much.
Yeah.
And I think some people are like, oh, yeah. Oh, it's very obviously a concern for some.
That doesn't surprise.
Concern
Of course,
for some.
of course, it's a
Yeah,
it's a
massive
deal.
rivalry.
Yeah.
Especially when they're both from the West too.
Well, they are fighting for a statue.
They're fighting for a statue.
Is Basil on the line, Luke? We got Basil.
Yeah, come on, Baz.
Coming on the show finally, 100 episodes.
I
Sorry,
think-
who's Luke? Merckxy?
100 episodes and we can't even call Merckxy. He's busy with an election, isn't he, Merckxy?
Yeah, I think he will be.
Yeah,
It's such a tough it's a tough balance that because like you want those juices to be boiling. You want them to be wanting to bloody but at the same time you don't want that to become a sidebar and become a distraction and become a detriment.
Wouldn't you be happy for someone else that you grew up with and race with to win?
To have a win.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the way I
Unless
think.
you're Demi Vollering, I would think yes, absolutely. But look, I haven't seen it. But is that what it is? He's fuming that his
But
teammates are getting
His team
favoured.
rode full gas while he was going out the arse, and he wasn't happy.
and I think that's kind of the wonderful thing is you can have the conversation. It's a good water cooler conversation even if you haven't seen it because it's like it's quite a big theme.
In the thing,
Is should you be happy? And I would say I'm very disappointed in Glutzy. I don't know him personally, so I will not throw shade on his character, but I'm very disappointed that in the moment he was not able to really show that he
couldn't
was
handle it.
happy with another Australian being
Yeah.
successful.
But he totally, in the words of Dumb and Dumber and Jim Carrey, he totally redeemed himself.
He did, yeah.
He totally
He did.
redeemed himself in the final and end up riding a really great second half of the tour. So
Yeah.
I'll give him that. Maybe he needs to change his tact a little bit. I think he's a quality bike rider. I think he's one of our best. I think, Kate, I agree with you totally. I think he's a little bit immature at the moment. I think he needs to be called out on that. I think he's really going to be one of our best in the next 10 years. Whether he's a GC guy or not, I think he's still can win a lot of races. Just maybe needs to pull his head in a bit and concentrate on himself
We
a little
love-
bit more than what other people are doing. So
Yeah, okay.
We do
Yeah,
love
yeah.
Glutzy. We continue
Oh,
to.
huge fans, yeah.
It makes me think, because it's State of Origin time, what would happen if they let the cameras, did like a Netflix treatment on the footy fellas?
Well, I think that they're like what you say. You need to appreciate your teammates, and what you see in team sport all the time is people getting selected, others missing out, people being replaced. We've seen it in this State of Origin series. The Blues dropped their captain, put a new captain in, replaced him. He comes back in. Now he's out again. He's done. He's been nothing but publicly very happy for the guy who's replaced him. Behind closed doors in his own private space, he's probably like, Kim, voodoo doll. You know, hurt yourself, do a hammy. But in front of a Netflix camera?
But if they're there
No.
all the time, Merckxy.
I'm just going to put the camera back on you there. Hindley or O'Connor? Olympic.
That's me.
Olympic
Yeah.
team.
Oh, right,
I don't
I
know.
see.
Yeah.
I'm
Olympic
not
team, you reckon?
blinking at all.
No blinks.
No blinks.
Got some news here too. We've got a guest. Check this out.
We have a guest.
Look at this.
Oh,
Stu
Jude.
Butts.
Hello,
Oh
Jude.
my lord!
Oh, my mum's come to
There you
help
go.
us celebrate.
The
Oh my
long-suffering
God.
Jude.
The
100.
long-suffering
You
Jude.
got to get Jude in here.
So I've got to be on my best
Excellent.
behaviour now.
You do.
Jude has never had any shade thrown at her in this podcast by the guy she's sitting next to right now.
I was. I'm just going to stop right there. I think I'm not going to talk anymore. Good to have you, Jude.
Hey, Jude.
We'll save you some cake because I'm not really sure anybody else is
There's,
going to
there's,
want a
there's
piece.
plenty left. Now,
Yep.
item 9 in the 100th episode
Oh,
rundown,
yeah.
Kate. We haven't really touched on this yet. Let's talk about Olympic selections.
Hey.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
I thought you might skip right past it given how
Nah.
much Merckxy saturated the show.
You know the team. We know you're not going
Yeah.
to say.
No.
What
but
about Caleb?
Oh,
Can we go through
Move
a few
on.
of the details? Can we go through what it looks like the next few
Yes.
weeks? Obviously, the countdown is real. It's happening.
Yes.
It's right around the
well,
corner.
it's a really interesting process,
Yeah.
and without even talking about the athletes involved or not, we do know this week that the reigning Olympic road champion Richard Carapaz out,
Gone.
not going. Now, when I told Hank this earlier, he was like, "Yeah, but he's not the best one. Like Jonathan Naves is better." Why on earth do they only have one? When you have a country that has 2 riders like that, and at the Tour de France they have 8, 9 riders, and now you go to the Olympics, 1. I think it's so bizarre. There'll only be 90 men, 270 kilometres, Hank, with 90 riders. I'd want to be in the break. I'd
Yeah,
want
I
to
was
be
in the
early
break. I was in the break in 2000 Olympics.
Oh, beautiful, iconic one around Centennial Park in the end.
Yeah, I was in the break with Yenzi and Stewie.
Oh.
And then Ulrich came past us about 45k an hour uphill.
Oh, dear.
And that was a sight to behold. I
Was he
got
seated?
front row seat. He was seated.
Yeah. Thought
He
so.
was actually seated.
Did
It
he
was
keep
just
his
right.
gold medal?
Yeah.
He did.
He did keep his gold medal.
His gold medal, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but having said that, there was more than 90 riders in the 2000 Olympics. So,
Yep.
I don't agree with it. And why would you? I don't think in the swimming they take out a certain amount of swimmers and have 6 swimmers in the pool instead of 8.
Yeah.
Do they?
Oh, don't even.
Don't
look,
get me
lucky-
started about how much swimmers get on television.
Lucky.
Seriously, you turn on the TV and all you see is these girls and they with their swimsuits on, and I'm pissed off because I didn't get in and that. Like, anyway.
Look, lucky
There's my-
Scott
there's my
McGrory's
swimming
not
rant.
here. McGrory, Merckxy, if you remember, had. I'll try and find it. Quite a significant rant, a number of shows. I don't even think
I'm
I
with him
mentioned
on
much.
that.
I think all I said was something about a swimsuit, and he was off.
No, McGrory is here.
Oh.
He's coming in here.
He's here too. Happy birthday to us. But it'll
Love
be, I
you,
tell you,
Scotty.
it'll be one of the best races of the whole year because it is so hard to pick. Because
the
the
road
Olympics,
race.
because you can't look at it like it's any other race because it's really not any other race. The Aussies have 3. So you could probably name 10 who deserve to go and would do a good job.
Why don't you?
I won't.
While we're here.
No.
Just
Thank
get it
you
out of the
anyway.
Get it, nip it in the bud, get it out of the way, then you don't have to worry about it.
And it's the same for the women. But
Yeah.
for the first time ever, cycling has parity at the Olympic Games. So there are 514 athletes going. So 257 women, 257 men. First time ever
Yep.
in the history of the sport. Which
That's
is
the Australian team.
no,
This-
all of cycling.
All of them.
Is that
Okay.
it?
That's it. But and that's for 22 gold medals across all the different disciplines: BMX, mountain bike, track, road. See, so there's not a lot of room in there.
Is Logan Martin going?
Okay.
Not a lot of athletes.
Have they
Logan
named
from
the
Logan.
BMX team?
Surely you can
Actually, I
confirm.
don't know
Surely you
BMX,
would be.
but I would say
Really?
that he's got an auto spot. But the fact that Carapaz, as reigning Olympic champion, doesn't get an automatic spot, I call rubbish. Travesty.
That's crazy.
That's just crap.
But the best has got to go, right? I mean, if Naves is the best, and just because you won 4 years ago doesn't give you an automatic walk-up
I
start.
don't know. I reckon it should.
No way.
Really?
No.
Oh.
You could be done and dusted.
didn't think
you
you'd
could be
disagree
like
with me on
retired
this
and
one.
go, oh, well, I won the last one, so let's just rock up and have fun at
No,
the next one.
clearly
I-
you can't be retired.
No, I know that. But like if you were good 4 years ago and you're not now,
I think 4 years is a long time.
it is.
I think
it
it's
is
a long time.
It is a long time.
I'm sorry to say, but what if you win your gold at 29, 30?
Yeah, like
and you're
Kate
back at
Campbell
34?
now. How old's Kate Campbell? do you know?
32.
Yeah,
but,
so
you know, she's
That's
four
not
Olympics.
old. That's not old.
But,
No,
you
it's
know,
not old, you know.
not
For a swimmer, though.
Yeah, for a swimmer it is.
Sorry to bring up the S word. But
No.
Oh, look,
no.
She's
No.
I
not at
thought
all.
we'd be doing like paper, scissors, rock to divide the opinion on this, but I'm outnumbered.
I just think,
All right.
okay, Kate, she's absolute legend while we're talking about swimming.
Yeah,
but if she
for
went
sure.
this year to Paris, the reality is that she's not.
Our best.
Oh, hold
She's not in
on,
contention.
hold on.
Yeah.
But
I
she's not our
s-
best athlete. Yeah.
Exactly.
So
I
why we would send you go on
Emily Seebohm?
nostalgia? Are we racing on nostalgia now?
Okay,
Olympic
I get
nostalgia?
it. I totally get it.
All right,
However,
hang on. We've just
I'm not
crucified Kate
proposing.
here.
No, I don't mind that. I'm not proposing it happens for any other sport. I just want it to happen. For
Breaking
road
news:
cycling.
Eddy Merckx confirmed he will be there. There
Yes.
you go. Okay,
Hey, it was his birthday.
exactly. So
It
This
was.
week.
Happy
Isn't
birthday.
he 79?
79.
79 years young.
Yes.
I say.
There was a fella on Deal or No Deal last night who was 96.
I watched that.
Great
Oh,
show.
good on him. Did
There's
he
a-
have a
Very
win?
sprightly.
There's a guy that rides on my
So-
bunch on Saturday mornings called the Coffee Grind. His name's Mick Patton. He's a world champion. He's 79 years old, and he's riding with me at 50k an hour down the road and having conversations with me. He's an absolute legend, old Mickey.
Was he on Deal or No Deal as
No,
well?
but we'll
Oh,
try and
okay.
sort it out. I reckon.
Get him on there. Yeah.
I'll get Grant Denyer. Grant Denyer to come out on the Coffee Grind,
Yeah.
and maybe he will. I'll
go.
get Alex Tobin. Maybe he can. He loves cycling.
Yeah.
He's a legend.
All right, good one.
So we don't know who's going for Australia. That's
No,
okay.
but we know that
I
Richard
reckon I know.
Carapaz isn't going.
we know. That's all we know. But a bit of neutrality as well. This is another thing with global events at the
I'm
moment.
not
the
neutral,
world.
sorry. Neutral, yes.
Neutral competing
Oh,
under
yes.
neutral flags. It's not a new thing. It's
No,
it's not a new thing.
but
at all,
I'm very happy that Vlasov has been given the chance to race
Yeah.
under neutral flag. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. I think the fact that Russian and Belarusian athletes still can't compete, I'm not going to get into the politics of that, but I think that it is very tough for some of the athletes who are far, far removed from the politics of it. So it's good to see him there. He's one of my favourite riders. He's really good to pick in like a general betting competition, like a tips comp, because he's there or thereabouts all the time. He doesn't often win, but
Yeah.
he's also not
He's up in
often
the mix.
50th.
He's going to be super
Yeah.
important in the tour. Vlasov.
He'll be very
With-
important in my
with
tipping
Henley
competition.
and Roglic. Those three, that's a pretty good midfield. Do you know what I mean? If we're
Pretty good
talking in
midfield.
football circles, I mean the midfield in UAE is pretty big, but the midfield at Bora is pretty fantastic as well.
Genuine challenges. Okay, all right. I was looking at the French Open. Daniil Medvedev losing his game that he lost, the match he lost to Dimonor. He's still getting booed. He's still getting booed with everything that's going. So those athletes are still walking into, some difficult circumstances,
Well,
especially at such an event. where
I
there's,
can say that, I do feel quite sorry for the guys riding for Israel Premier Tech.
Yeah.
Because they really cop it at every single race.
Yeah.
And that must be very difficult for a lot of them.
Yeah, it's great. Getting politics and sport
That's
shouldn't
it.
be.
Not on episode 100.
Not on episode 100.
Okay.
Not going there.
We'll,
All right,
okay,
so
all right,
scroll
we'll talk
down.
about something more positive then. Funerals. No, just kidding. Is Eddy Merckx really a goat?
Yes.
Now, first time I saw this, I was
Yes.
looking at it quite literally going, are you talking, is he like some sort of Island of Dr. Moreau's thing going on here? Or you're saying the greatest of all time or an actual farmyard animal?
No, I mean,
He's the goat.
I think that probably
Greats
both
of all
could
time.
be debated if you really wanted to go down that path. But no, people have started saying that he is not the greatest of all time. And in particular relation ahead of the Tour, saying that Pogačar should not be compared to him because he's not the GOAT anyway. Pogačar is racing against, 2,500 registered professionals throughout the season. Eddy Merckx only had a couple of hundred professionals in his day.
Okay.
That when he did the Tour de France, there was only, 8 to 10 nations competing and heavily skewed to 4 or 5, whereas now there's 40-odd nations competing at the Tour de France, and you just can't compare. And that's what they're saying. Yeah, sure, Merckx was good, but he didn't have the competition that Pogačar has.
But nor did he have the equipment. Nor did he have the tech, nor did he have the support, nor did he have the... I mentioned earlier the nutrition, just the awareness, the physiological awareness, I guess. I might be spouting off completely errantly here, but that's kind of
good,
my...
all good points.
They didn't have the training consistency. You're spot on.
All of that.
To even know how to ensure that, all this periodisation in training and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
He didn't have any of that. So
I'll flat out say he was way better than Pogačar.
Oh, way better. Okay.
Way better.
All right.
Way
talk
better.
us
All
through
right.
this.
Well, he did everything. He won like Pogačar is now starting to become more of an icon, more of a GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
But Merckx won every one-day classic there was. Every single one, every tour, every grand tour. He won time trials, bunch sprints. Pogačar's never winning bunchies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you might find a small bunchie somewhere in Slovenia or Slovakia or somewhere in a smaller race.
not on the
Merckx did it all.
Champs-Élysées.
Merckx did it all. He could win bunch sprints. He could win time trials. Listen, my dad raced against him in the 60s. They did a 100K crit. He attacked. He went. He lapped them. Attacked again and lapped them again. And then won the bunchie. And this is with my dad in back in those days, 52.12 was the biggest gear. He was in that for 2 hours and Merckx went around them twice on a kilometre circuit.
We were talking about Zwift before. It's like he's just riding through power-ups the whole time.
Yeah.
It's like Mario Kart.
Yeah.
He's got a cheat code in.
So,
Yeah.
and you know what? I think the sport was bigger back then.
Yeah.
I mean, Kate, we talked about
Yeah.
this Madison Square Gardens and Madison Square Gardens where the New York Knicks play. That is where the Madisons used to be, which means the 6-day races, where there was 100 to 150,000 people there. And the 6-day races like Major Taylor and all the bike riders in that era, they were earning 10 times what Babe Ruth, the baseball players, were making. It was a much more popular sport back in the 1900s to 1950, 1960, 1970 when Merckx was racing than it is now.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. I mean, we didn't have the access to see it.
Yes,
or
no
to know about
televisions.
it.
No televisions, just on radio.
Yeah.
So you had to go and see it. So there was a much bigger spectator sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It was huge.
I mean,
It was much bigger.
it's actually pretty modern. Like, I grew up watching the Tour de France on VHS tapes a month later.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd check the newspaper every day to see the top 3.
Yeah, in the newspaper they used to have the results.
And
So
I
it's
used
showing
to,
our age. But
yeah, but for club racing, I used to call the newspaper on the way home from club racing and read them out the results to get printed in the paper the next day.
Yeah.
Like it's
the
and
St
that's
George Club.
Parramatta.
Oh, sorry.
On the 100th episode, geez, we've got a conversation to have.
All right,
after
sorry,
this.
Elaine. Phil Bates will be stoked. Okay.
But it is like so much has changed, and people just compare based on the number
Yeah.
of wins. And I think cycling, it's
No one
very
will top
difficult to
Merckx.
do
No
that.
one will ever get anywhere close to him. 525. I think it could be more than that, but no one's getting close unless Roglic goes and does and wins and specifically targets exactly what Merckx won. Because that's what Cavendish is doing now to get the record at the Tour. But what we don't realise is they're all bunch sprints. Go back and see how many time trials and mountain stages Merckx won in the Tour.
Okay.
So that's a bit of research for you. Like, he's going for the record. I'm not trying to discount Cav's record if he gets it, but go back and look at the hard stages in the mountains that Merckx won, because it's a different kettle of fish. And I love Cav and I race with him. That's how long ago,
That he's been around.
And what a champion. And I love him being part of the sport, but it's not the same.
Can you compare
It'll never be
them-
the same.
Like, can you compare them technically?
No.
You can't at all?
No.
So Merckxy,
no.
Merckxy with the versatility to absolutely just win
He just did everything.
Yeah.
He did the time trials, the mountain stages, the medium hard stages. Cavs won 35 bunchies.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe he's won a medium stage somewhere in that. It might be a little bit of research for us, but yeah, you can't. He's the GOAT. Merckx is the GOAT.
Even if Sir Mark does get the stage record, you can't say he's the greatest Tour de France rider.
No.
Like
He's just saying he's going to have the record for the most.
number of sprints. Yeah. Well, I think it's really interesting, like how much the eyes were on Cav last year before the Tour and around the record, and this year, I think there's a lot of people who will literally forget that he's even lining up, and unless he does something. He's just been really under the radar.
Do you reckon he's going to win one, Kate?
I don't, but I would love him to.
You want the 35.
I think I have a lot of respect for him.
I think it'd be cool.
And he does come across in the documentary exactly as he is. You know, I raced with him for many years. I remember the first time he won a World Cup on the track. He was a kid and he cried. You know, he just loves the sport so much. It meant so much to him to be able to do that. And I think he still has that attitude. And he does deserve it. But the sport's not fair, so...
There's no presents. There's no gifts. There's no presents. No one's giving it to him. And I tell you what, Jasper Philipsen ain't giving him any presents.
No, and what he has lost, because what he could have done last year if he won on the Champs-Élysées is getting that record on the Champs-Élysées. This moment, this photograph. This year, the Tour finishes in Nice.
Yeah,
so,
of course. Yeah,
it's bloody beautiful down there.
I mean, it's beautiful down there, but it doesn't have the same, like... history and imagery and fairy tale feel about it, but
he would have to get through the Tour then, Kate.
That's true. And even stage one's pretty horrendous. Merckxy.
Cav does point out that he already holds the record. He shares it with Eddy.
Shares it.
He just wants to break it.
He does.
Have it to himself.
He has not hesitated to point that out.
He does. Well,
okay.
we've discussed this with McGrory, and McGrory says, and I tend to agree, you have to beat a record to have
a record.
Yes.
So he currently doesn't have the record.
He currently well, that's, according to
shares
Professor
the
McGrory.
Record.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, but got no question, Merckxy's the GOAT.
In that they have set
too,
the record,
Merckxy.
so they're the record holder, and then he's matched the record, but he hasn't broken.
He hasn't broken it.
Okay,
yes.
all right.
Yeah.
Just pointing out, Pogacar's won 11 already.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're seeing a 35 plus?
I'm seeing 36.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't think so. I don't think so. No. I think...
Another 5 years and he'll be done. You can't stay at that level as a GT rider. As a sprinter, you can fluff your way through.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he will continue to flourish as a tour rider, but I don't think for the next 5 years we're going to see this domination where he can win heaps of stages and win GC. Like, I think there's too many talented young guys, and he hasn't won the last 2 years. Like, we're talking about how good he is. He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But he also, he's the knight with a chink in his armour.
He wants to win Worlds, and he wants to win Roubaix one day.
Yeah, I don't think you can go after the record at the Tour de France for stages and want to do all those other things.
I reckon he can do it. I reckon he
break
can
the 35.
No, I reckon he can win I reckon he can do the 35, and I reckon he can win races like Roubaix and Worlds, and I think
Worlds,
I think he's absolutely capable of winning all the classics that Merckx won.
Well, let's just reconvene in a decade.
Okay.
Episode
Will has
1000. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is why he's in the discussion, obviously, because he is capable, but he has a ways to go. So, as I say, episode 1000, we will circle back. Put a pin in it.
Yeah,
for now.
put a pin in it. Not in our beautiful... We have beautiful balloons in here.
Don't put a pin in them.
Don't put a
please.
pin in them, please.
No. We've mentioned bike bugs, 70% off
Up
some
to
things.
70% off some things, yeah.
Ridiculous.
I did notice there's a sale on Shimano.
Okay.
Which I noticed because they're never on sale.
Yeah.
Ever.
Grab it while
So
you can.
it's
Okay.
10%, but it's worth it. And you can, if you need helmets, shoes, whatever it might be.
Now, that's fantastic. Someone else that's fantastic and deserves a massive shout out for 100 episodes is our Merckxy. Now, our Merckxy, aka finds all manner of scoops and inside views and really cool, quirky little stuff from the world of cycling.
He does.
Every single week.
He does.
This week, 100 episodes in, I'm not trying to throw shade here, but I think you might have been had.
Oh.
He might have been had by the interwebs. Okay, it's still a ripper.
The
Merckxy,
World Wide
as
Web.
always.
Yes.
I reckon
Well-
the World Wide Web has wrapped its tentacles around Merckxy.
If I may, Merckxy excitedly told me this morning.
Yeah.
He said, if you're doing the rundown, I've got something for you, right?
Item 1.
And he said it was on the Tour de France, Instagram. There's official Tour de France logo, Lego.
And for
That's
our
what he
Adelaide
said.
listeners, Lego.
Lego, that's right. Stobie poles and Lego.
Lego.
Yes, so
Yeah,
if you're after
yeah.
your Lego or your Lego, don't run off to the shops just
Don't
yet.
go dancing down to the shops just yet, Adelaideans.
Because Merckxy's been had
Oh, well.
on further inspection. The image that was on social media is AI generated, and
not
there is
real.
in fact not
I get-
official Tour de France
I
Lego.
get a fair bit of AI stuff on my Insta feed for some reason. I don't know why.
Clear your search history.
Yeah.
Although
Awkward.
there's multiple permissions to the Wheelhouse Instagram, and so maybe that's for all of us to
Oh, yeah,
all
fair
of us
enough.
to be careful. But yes, there is no Tour de France Lego.
But there
Merckxy, I
should
know you're
be.
disappointed.
There,
There should
I
be.
agree. I love Lego.
Yeah.
Oh, massive fan.
Lego. They did
Yeah.
in the 2000.
Here's the pictures though. Look.
Hold on.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, look, they're so good.
That is
real.
compelling.
They do.
Yeah, yeah,
It-
yeah.
it- I mean,
That's
in
almost
fairness,
as
Merckxy, it
authentic
looks
as
real.
AI Jonas was.
Oh,
Remember when he did that?
yeah.
Oh, that
Radic
was so
motion?
creepy, wasn't it?
It's like,
It's-
whoa.
Back in 2000, they did have Tour de France logo. How am I saying logo? I'm getting so
Lego.
confused between the Lego and the Lego. Lego. And it was quite cool. They had like
Yeah.
a team car, and
Great.
then they had a Team Telecom version at one point. So
Yeah.
I don't know why they don't bring it back.
Were you ever immortalised in Lego,
Oh.
either of you?
Alas, no.
No.
Should
No,
have been.
no, says Henk, no.
Yeah.
Well, when you make your
No.
comeback in Paris, because we know you're on that team
Yes.
sheet.
I mean, I have heard Kate stand on a piece of Lego in the kids' room
Yes.
and yell an F-bomb.
I did not say no.
Yeah. Now that was an immortalised
no.
moment. Oh dear, golly gosh. Okay, no worries. I was there for the meeting, and Luke came in. Sorry, Merckxy came in. Said Cavendish, no. Merckx, no. Get rid of it. Bike bug, toss it. Don't care about the Olympics. We're doing 100% Lego.
Yeah.
100% Lego for episode 100.
There is a lot of people on the interwebs who get very excited around tour time and such, and do these dioramas or Lego displays or whatnot. There is quite a few people, and I know this because I had to deep dive in the internet to try and find Tour de France Lego.
Okay.
Alas, that have got instructions on how to buy a normal set of Lego bricks and build a Tour de France village. So there are people doing it still. But
Well, you can build anything, right? If you've got the
Yeah.
pieces.
Yeah, more or
If
less.
you've got the-
You do need to be careful
Yeah.
on these deep dives, though, because when you're Googling adult toys, it can lead you down a couple of different paths.
I didn't- that's
Nah, agreed.
Joel,
Yeah.
Jude's here. Joel.
Hey, Jude.
Ah,
So-
goodness.
Hi, Mum.
Kate's like, no, Jude's like, don't worry, I've got a search history right here.
So
it's
we
fine.
now know who's responsible for the mess on our Instagram. Joel.
Okay, good one. Now, what else is happening on the socials? You came out of the deep
Socials.
dive.
I did. Musette de Tour does, talking about dioramas, these amazing figurine Barbie dioramas for every stage of the tour. They're amazing. Now, they have commented this week that they would like us to ask Mattel if they could make Lotte Kopecky Barbies.
Easy.
I'm holding one up here that could be a Lotte Kopecky World Champion Barbie. Alas, it is me.
That's not Lotte, yeah.
It's me. I know it has brown hair. I've had many different hair colours
Fantastic.
in my day. Auntie Shezzy made this for me. But I think that we could
Yeah.
have one for every world champion.
Yes.
A Barbie.
Hold it forward to the cameras
Oh.
there. Yeah, look, focus. Look at
There you
that.
go. Yes.
That's good, isn't it?
Yes. I mean, I did also
Awesome.
go through a period where I had, I was living in Spain at the time, like quite severe bangs, like fringe,
Okay.
right above my
As you do.
eyebrows.
Yeah.
I'm quite glad that Barbie didn't get that iteration of a haircut. Oh, there was also the 2004 Olympics where we were training in Butgen. Have you been to
Yep,
Butgen?
very many,
Very, very tiny little town in Germany, near Dusseldorf. And also very hot in summer, and we were training there before the Olympics, and it was very hot, and I thought, my hair is too long, so I cut my hair.
Okay.
And I thought, also my hair is very dark, and that's not natural, and maybe lighter hair will help me with the heat. Suffice to say that all the photos from that Olympics, I have very short orange hair.
Okay.
Also glad that Barbie does not
Yeah, fair enough.
show that haircut.
I see it. Barbie doesn't have a helmet strap tan either.
No, Barbie doesn't have a
You know,
helmet
the
strapped
helmet
in. She's
strapped
got a
in
little
around
bit
the
of
ears.
makeup on. Yes.
You know?
Well, if you
I
are
think every-
watching, for anyone watching Unchained, the tan lines are remarkable to the point where Mark Cavendish, I nearly called him Mark Renshaw, he's in there too, has tan lines on the rolls in his neck.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So when he looks forward, there's all these white gaps
Oh.
because he got burnt with his neck back. That's
His neck
actually,
back, yeah, okay.
sunscreen, fellas.
And there was
Tan
the
lines.
surprising bit where Wout was getting a massage and they had to quickly blur
They
something.
did.
It popped
They had
out
to-
from
they
under the
had to-
towel.
What?
I had to blur out on the massage
Yeah,
table.
Kate nearly fell off the couch.
Oh,
A waist
on now.
down blur.
Wout was out.
well,
Wout was out.
a section
Around
Oh
the.
my God.
Oh, that was
Yes,
gold.
yes, Joel, yes. Around you're
Yeah.
moving your hands around.
Yeah.
Are you
some
talking
interesting
about his meat and
motions.
potatoes?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Just clearing that up.
Yes.
Okay. Good to know.
Can confirm that there was no blurring needed for
But I
Matthew
said to
Van Der
Kate,
Poel.
I said,
Yes,
why
Merckxy.
can't they wear like togs, speedos? But
No, but it's you get a better massage when you just have the towel between the bits.
Yeah, I called it
'Cause
a towel,
you go
a towel
over the
nappy.
TFL.
Yeah.
Yeah, towel
Yeah.
nappy.
Yeah.
towel nappy.
It's way
Yeah.
better massage because you get the massage through the hamstrings and the glutes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Look,
Okay.
we've
I had one like
Merckxy-
that in Bali once. when I was-
Merckxy asked if the ladies did the
Yeah.
towel nappy, and
Do
I
they?
said, mostly, but it does depend how much you trust the masseuse.
Yeah.
So not the one that did the chocolate
Not
sauce.
the one that gave me a chocolate massage.
Yeah, okay.
Stop
No.
it.
Fair enough.
That was real.
That revelation came in, I
Yes.
believe,
Oh,
episode
let's not
3 or
go
4,
down
and
this
it-
It
rabbit
was.
hole.
Yes. No, look, it was a revelation from an earlier
What's his name?
episode.
Hopawati or whatever?
I
Yeah,
had,
John Hopawati, yeah.
I had a Polish masseuse
Stopper.
who
Yeah.
massaged all the girls
Yeah.
using hot chocolate.
Yep.
And we were all so mortified.
No.
Nobody told each other until like somebody blurted it out, and then everyone's like, "Oh my God, me too."
You think you're awkward, Hank? I'm sitting next to Kate's mum.
So
Yeah. You can hear about it.
There
If
you go.
you go back through our back catalogue of
Yeah.
99 episodes, you will find it in there.
Yeah.
Quite the tale.
yeah, I mean, I apologise for some of
Chocolate.
the earlier episodes, but look, we were doing our best, and I think to get to 100, we've done well.
I think we've discovered integrity.
We have.
And turning us into a dedicated news service early on, I think, has really helped as well.
Yeah, I
So I've
think
got to stop
too.
swearing now.
Yeah, sticking to
Jury's
our
out
core
on the
mission.
jury's out on the cuss. I just want to ask, because Jude's here, and I know she's not going to like this, but Jude, thanks for coming. Do you think we should continue, that we deserve to continue to 101 and beyond, based on? I think Jude has been here for every single episode. She's seen the growth, the evolution. It's your call, Jude. Are we enduring beyond today?
Absolutely are. Yep. Look forward to number 200.
200.
Like, share, subscribe, tell everyone you know. It's a lot of fun. Kate
Drag the
Bates.
people along, kicking and screaming if you must.
Hank Vogels, good luck on your next tour of duty, my friend.
I'll be here next week. Don't worry.
Oh, you'll be here next
you
week,
back
and then
again?
you're going
Okay.
to France.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, you've
Great.
got your happy birthday hat on backwards.
Oh.
But that's okay. That's okay.
What a slick outfit, you three are.
Oh, so annoying.
Happy birthday.
Sorry.
Let's eat cake.
Yeah.
Let's eat cake.
Like, share,
Okay.
subscribe, tell everyone you know. We'll be back for 101 next week. Cousin Bates, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Merckxy, thank you very much. Thanks, everyone.
DM us and we'll send cake. Maybe.
I want to see if anyone does that. Yes, we will. We will send you a piece of this cake.
Yes.
3/4 moon
Yeah.
coming your way.